viewers and guests. My speech is about the mysterious Tabby star. Now, you guys have walked outside before in the night sky, and rare chances that you're out of the city, you can see what's up there in the sky. These bright little things up there. Now, if you ever took away all your distractions and stare into the deep space, I don't think you could help to wonder what's actually up there. How does something so little up in the sky, so far away, stay up there? Now, through public education, you would know obviously those little twinkly things are stars. And we know that within those stars there's maybe planets or various things around in space. And I think most people, after they get through their basic science courses, they kind of close the book and kind of wander off and doesn't really think twice about what's actually in the night sky. So I want to share some brief news with you on the things I kept learning on basically astronomy. Because I frankly like looking at the stars, and I'm learning about the physics and how things work up there that really affects how we're traveling through space as well. So this news, I can't tell you about it until I'll kind of explain the backstory on the Kepler telescope. Anybody heard of the Kepler telescope? Some of you have. So this telescope was launched in space back in 2009, and its main mission was to find exoplanets. So finding other planets within the Milky Way galaxy. To actually find an Earth-like planet that we could someday travel over there, because we're going to probably screw up ours anyways. So, so the way that it finds the planets is looking at a certain section in the Milky Way with the stars, and if there is a planet in a star, that it would pass along in front of the camera at a certain periodic rate and dim the star just slightly. So this telescope can pick that signal changes through time. So it's actually looking at about 400,000 stars in just a tiny section of the galaxy to find other planets. And that's that takes a long time to kind of process, and the astronomers would have to look at each star and analyze what's going on with each of them. Do they have a star? How mature is the star? Is it too big? Is it too small to support planets? Now, a strange thing happened while they were processing through these stars. This astronomer named Tabitha Boyajan. She's currently have a master's degree in astronomy in some college in Ohio, and she discovered this one star called KIC 8462852. That's how you name stars. So on this KIC 2864852, can't even do that anymore. It was very unnatural. When I say unnatural, meaning on a typical star with a planet, let's say if a planet passes through, you would see a dimming in the light. So if you can plot out through time on the x-axis and the luminosity on the right axis, you would see that it was slightly dipped like this, and then over time you would see another dip. So that's how they can tell how big these planets are and how close it is to the sun, to the star. Now, what she discovered on this KIC star is super erratic and massive. So typically, a Jupiter, like the biggest planet in our solar system, covers maybe about 1 or 2% of the star's light. And this one was a great 20%. So we know that planets can't sustain that mass because they would collapse on itself due to its mass. So it's really huge what they would find out. And the plot, when Tabitha plotted out the graph, it was just erratic. It was going up and down, and there was no telling what it was going to do. So she produced this paper called Where's the Flux? And then people started calling it the WTF star. And then in honor of her paper, they call it the Tabby star. Now, this was discovered actually just several months ago, back in November of last year. And this has riled the community up quite a bit on what that could possibly be. So they pointed other instruments towards that star, and they couldn't come up with a conclusion. So, people thought it was, and people know that it's not a planet because it's too big. And they were thinking of asteroids, but the problem is that our solar system doesn't have massive asteroids like that, and the Tabby star is about the same maturity as our star. So, in theory, it should have the same type of system, which is no huge asteroids. So, and they also pointed other instruments to look for infrared. If there were a lot of things colliding, a lot of chaos going on in the star, there would be a lot of infrared light coming out. They found out that it's just some dipping that happens. So, the one interesting theory is what they call a Dyson sphere. The Dyson sphere is actually a structure made by something, actually an artificial structure that is harnessing the energy of the sun. So, I mean, if it ever came to that conclusion, then yes, we found our first civilization out in the Milky Way galaxy. That news, up to me, is huge. And I think it's a little scary at some point, because how in the world can something or some being could build a structure that big? Of course, there's other questions to be answered before we ever get to that conclusion. But so far, the scientists are saying that it's not aliens. Okay, so yeah, it's quite interesting to me. So there's a lot of information like this out in the net and out from just NASA or SETI describing new things that are happening out in outer space. So, I'm hoping that little piece of news would, kind of pique your interest on looking at something beyond your textbooks and have the heart to explore.